Hey everybody, this is Gabe here, and my intention is to give you a very exciting playthrough of this new quick start rules which Two Little Mice just released with the new upcoming Kickstarter, the Outgunned Adventure. Well, the actual Kickstarter will starting in a little bit over 2 weeks, but they were good enough to give us this quick start rules. So before you get confused, I want to clarify, of course, that there was another Outgunned quick starter, Outgunned Kickstarter campaign, which is the base game, and actually I'm still waiting for my pledge to arrive, and hopefully I'm going to receive it within a few days. But they are already coming up with this idea. And why this is so interesting and why I think that these guys really need to be supported, because what these Italian guys are doing here is something really, really special. I discovered this little publisher company, Two Little Mice, through the Outgunned Kickstarter, and I like it so much that I was actually bought the two previous very successful settings, which was the Broken Compass, and another one is the first one is the Household, which is really a very unique settings and a very, very unique system, which I really find it very interesting and exciting. First of all of these systems are really up for the theater of the mind. So this is really a system which is greatly support the game when you can just sit down and start playing, and you don't need any kind of battle maps or tokens or anything like that, and the game will be really, really quite enjoyable. Now, so before we get into it, just a little bit of overview about the system in a whole. So Outgunned is a hero game. It's kind of like a superhero, but without an actual, superhero power. So these are the typical heroes of some popular action movies. Actually, if you ever wanted to play a John Wick-like character, now you can do it, because one of the source book which came out together with the basic Outgunned rule book, that is the World of Killers, and this is exactly give you this. Okay, so you can exactly play a John Wick-like character, and even the setting and everything is absolutely the same. Of course, these have some different names and determination and descriptions, but still is the same. So these are the action heroes who can survive almost everything. It's seemingly the luck is never run out, and they can get out of very, very tight situation, sometimes even without a scratch. Of course, it's not in a way like in the old Chuck Norris movies, when the Chuck Norris were butchered half of the North Vietnamese army without even get a single serious injury. Because here, yes, they are heroes, but their luck can actually run out. They can be wounded, and even they can die. But since this is an action movie, who knows? Maybe somehow they came back in the next sequel, so you never know. Okay, so the system itself is based on a very nice die mechanic, which is quite unique, and actually it's like Yahtzee, okay, or a poker dice. So you roll an X number of dice, and you try to put together the best combinations. 2 of the same, 3 of the same, 4 of the same, and so on and so on. I will, get into the mechanic a little bit. Of course, not into the very big details, because that video is want to focus on the actual playthrough here. But to understand everything, you might need to understand at least the very basics, how the systems is going to work. So let me just scroll there exactly so you can see it, what's going on. So as you can see it here, the roll difficulty is, of course, depends on the situation, but it can be a basic difficulty, which can be achieved by a single, pair, or in other words, the two of the same, result, or a critical, which is the 3 of a kind, or an extreme, which is a 4 of a kind, an impossible, which is basically there's a impossible, as the name is suggests, it's 6 of a kind. So it's a very, very hard to get. So and as this die mechanic actually is like a mini game in a game, it goes like this. You're going to roll your dice pool, which is determined by your main attribute and some skills. So you can roll maybe from 2 to 5 to 6 dice, with this combination, maybe more if you have some specific tools, a weapon, whatever, and of course, but it's not more than 9. Not more than 9. Now, so when you roll your dice and you get any kind of combination, let's say you roll 5 dice and you only achieve the basic success. So you need to set aside the two dice, which is get into the basic success, and you need to try a reroll. So it means that you're going to reroll the 3 dice which haven't achieved any kind of level of success. Now, here is the catch. If you're able to achieve a higher success, then you are in luck. But if you are not, then you're going to lose even that one single, one single basic success which you were rolled before. Of course, if you have a feat, some special skill which is allow you, to make a reroll without this penalty, then it is possible as well. So which means even if you are not achieved at least one single basic success, you can try to reroll. And even if you are not achieving a higher success, let's say you achieved only one basic success and you're re-rolling and you basically didn't roll at a higher one, you will not going to lose your single basic success. Now, when you established your roll, the reroll, you still have another opportunity to all in, which means that you need to roll again all of the dice which don't have any kind of result, and again, but this one is the final thing. This is the final gamble, because if you cannot achieve a higher success that you had before, then you're going to lose everything. So even if you will use the feat or not. So these are basically the rules in a nutshell. Now, of course, I'm going to play solo. That's important. I can do that because, fortunately, the structure of the adventure is presented in a way that it can very easily play in solo. And of course, you need to use that simple fundamental rule of solo playing when you're trying to play a pre-made module, that you need to separate the player knowledge, which is your knowledge, from the character knowledge. So if you know something, that doesn't mean necessarily that your player character will know it too. So that's important. Now, so this is enough, I think, in a nutshell. But there is one more very important information what I give it to you. I want to give it to you. So as I mentioned before, of course, there is the previous Kickstarter, the Outgunned core book and action flicks, which is let you play the same system with several different settings, and even the individual source book, The World of Killers. But the nice thing and the very nice touch here that you don't need any of that if you want to play that Outgunned adventure book. Because yes, as you heard right, this is an individual setting which can be played by alone by itself, so you don't need the Outgunned core book for that, unless of course if you want to. And I of course strongly suggest that if you are able to do it, then you buy it. But if you cannot, then if you only purchase that newly released Outgunned adventure, that will be enough for you to play through the adventure. Okay, and so that's it. So the playthrough what I'm going to give you will be a little bit unconventional, because I'm going to play on Obsidian, and actually this is not a real time playthrough. Okay, so I'm played through that before, and I'm just going to read the playthrough for you, and I hope so that all of you can enjoy that. Unfortunately, you will not be able to see the actual die rolls, because as you know that Outgunned is using a special die which don't have numbers on the die actually, but rather some specific symbols, and I don't have any kind of online method to do that. Yes, they have a Discord bot, but I find it a little bit clunky to use that. And of course it can be simulated with simple day sixes, but since I have the proper die set from the Broken Compass module, which is the same actually, just the symbol is different, but it doesn't matter, so I'm using the physical dice. But believe me, so I'm trying to be very honest with you, so whatever I rolled, it is that. That was the result. Now first of all, let's check the characters. So obviously I'm not, I wasn't bothering too much to create characters, so I just took the 4 pregens from the Quick Start rules, because first of all I think they are good. I like them, and second, of course, this is the way to really start playing as fast as you can. So as you can see, these are the 4 characters. So one of them is Alaska, and then Jason, and here comes June, and finally the professor, Raymond. Okay, so these are the 4 guys who are going to attempt to get that mysterious treasure in this adventure. So let's get into it, and let's see how it goes. So Frozen Legacy. Okay, so that is the first scene of the adventure. What you can imagine, that the adventurers must find a path through the frigid ice of Greenland to search for a legendary tomb of the Viking explorer Eric the Red. So we are in Greenland. The adventurers are right now climbing a very steep wall of frozen mountain. They can barely glimpse the end of the climb above them. It's quite far, while beneath thick white clouds hide a terrific precipice. Nobody would survive such a fall, so their only option is to keep climbing to reach their destination with Odin's key. So what is that? You will see it soon. So you can imagine the whole situation, that the 4 characters are climbing one after the other with one rope. Okay, with one rope. Some of them, above, some of them below, and there is a lead climber, okay, who is responsible to put these pythons into the ice wall with his hammer, which securing the rope. Okay, now this is a very difficult climb, of course. There is any wrong move or hesitation or recklessness which is causing even all 4 of them to fall into their demise. Okay, so now June is the most experienced climber. She is leading the climb and is responsible to insert the large python into the ice wall with her hammer. So she must make sure the python will hold the weight of all 4 of them. Okay, so when she is putting that python into the ice wall, she needs to make sure that it will hold. Okay, it's not an easy task and a great responsibility. So she must roll a critical success to make sure all is good. So again, remember, critical success is 3 of a kind. So this is what she needs to achieve. So of course, just a bit of an introduction for the character. So some treasures are truly priceless. Nevertheless, June will certainly try to sell them to the highest bidder. To her, adventure is just a job, but it's the best job in the world. So now, her brown is 3, and the survival rating is also 3. So she is going to roll 6 dice. Let's just check that, just to make sure you understand what I'm doing here. So as you can see, here is June. Okay, so her brown is 3. There is the 3 dots there, and we are going to roll. We are going to use the survival, which is also 3. So again, this is a little bit different. So it's some other system using a little bit similar one, but you always have to combine the main attribute with the skill which is connected to that main attribute. Now here you are able to freely, combine any kind of skill to any attribute you will see fit. Okay, so that's a very big difference here. So, but again, so the brown is 3, and the survival is 3. So she's rolling 3 dice. Okay, so now she rolled 6 dice. But first, she only get 2 basic success, which means there's 2 different pairs. Okay, now she's struggling to find the right spot for the python. Now she's re-rolling the 2 leftover dice. So again, you can re-roll only the dice which haven't achieved any kind of level of success. Okay, which was 2 dice from the 6. Okay, now yes, she scored a critical success plus even a basic success. So when you achieve more success what you need, then you actually can do something else, something more what you were originally planned. So in this situation, I just came up with that she's properly secured that python, and she still has some energy left to shut down through the line, to the others below her, that some motivating words, that come on guys, we're almost there, just one more push. Okay, so of course not all adventurers have muscular bodies and loaded pistols. Some wear glasses, avoid unnecessary dangers, and do their best to not destroy everything they touch. Professor Raymond Suri is one such adventurer. The professor actually was the last on the line because he never climbed before, plus he was afraid of height. He was shaking heavily, and his thought in this situation is that never again. There is nothing worth this nightmare. He don't know how he was able to make it that far, and probably he was not able to do it without the help of Jason, another character who is exactly climbing above her. So Jason was patient enough and strong enough to help him all the way up. Jason was actually the daredevil of the party. He is not afraid of anything except spiders. He is a former soldier and hired by the party to be the security guy and overcome any sudden challenge which could be too much for a peaceful scientist like Raymond. Jason is always ready for action, and he never backs down from a challenge. Destiny has been trying to make him a hero, but he is stubbornly dodging that call so far. So June can actually take care of herself, and she's a very tough puppy. And Alaska, the pilot, who is actually climbing directly, under June, is the second on the line. She's the 4th member of this merry band, and she wasn't afraid to use her gun either. So Alaska dreams actually about traveling the world, on her trusty seaplane and going on great adventures. While she is a hopeless dreamer, Alaska has proven time and again that her feet are firmly on the ground. So there is no any other complication, happens, and the climbers finally reached their destination, and all four of them were just try to catch their breath, and before they release, the view ahead of them, an imposing burial structure that looks like a small mausoleum nestled in the frozen landscape. So, yes, Professor Wheelock was right. The tomb of Eric the Red exists and they have found it. So here is the tomb. And so to know the story so far, so Professor Wheelock was contacted June a few weeks back about the potential discovery. They found a very special grave in Norway which contains some very interesting artifact, and that was Odin's key. Odin's key is a metal disc carved with ancient runes. Set in its center, there is a sheet of hard rock so thin that it allows light to pass through. And in the grave, there was another stone table with this special ancient writing, which give you a description to where is the door is to be found, which can be only opened with Odin's key. Eric the Red's grave. Eric the Red actually was possibly the greatest Viking explorer, and over his eventful life he witnessed incredible things and accumulated unimaginable wealth. At the beginning of the year 1000, he retreated to live in Greenland, a land he had discovered himself, and spent his last days like a true Viking, refusing to follow his son's example and convert to Christianity. So you can maybe, if you already watched the TV show Vikings, you can probably associate with that one of the most popular character of the show, Loki. Okay, now, so unfortunately, the professor's efforts to get official support for the expedition was all but failed. Nobody believed him. This is why he was decided to finance the expedition by himself and contacted June, even he knows that part of the treasures will be never find a way to a museum, because June is June and she is there for a profit. The professor itself was too old to participate in such an adventure, but was convinced his younger colleague Raymond to represent him in the expedition. So June was quickly find Alaska to have an appropriate transport, and Jason to have some muscle in the team. So here they are in the front of Eric the Red's tomb. Wow. Now, so on the top of the mountain, the wind is even harsher than during the climb, carrying the threatening sound of waves that crash hundreds of feet below. By looking over the edge of one side, the adventurer can see the wall they just had to climb, while on the other side, the sea spreads as far as the eye can see. It's appropriate for the tomb of a Viking explorer who ruled the seas 1,000 years ago to be located in such a beautiful and unreachable place. The tomb of Eric the Red is a classic Christian monument dating back to the year of 1000, composed of a large memorial stone standing out against the sky. The huge gravestone is completely surrounded by ice, wedged deep and decorated with a Christian cross and the inscription Sicut vixi ego relinquo. I don't have a clue if that pronunciation was correct or not, but anyway, the professor immediately, translate this, and as you can see here, he had to roll focus plus culture. Okay, so there is no such thing like culture. Maybe that's, I think it's maybe an error in the rules, but I was just substituted with know, which is other words knowledge. And of course he have an appropriate feat for this because he have an archaeology feat. So remember, the feat means that he can re-roll the dice, even if he hasn't achieved any level of success for the first roll. Okay, and even after the reroll, he wasn't roll any existing or standing success. So he was easily, accomplished that feat because, of course, he rolling 6 dice, and he rolled 2 basic success, and after even re-rolling, he got a critical success and a basic success. So he would have been able to translate even a more difficult and bigger volume of text very easily. So the professor was providing the translation with ease. As I lived, so I depart. Okay, impressive, but won't we want to find some treasures, shall we? And say June, and with that, she just take out the key, Odin's key from her, package, and insert into a slot on the tombstone. But the professor has some thoughts. It's, wait, screamed the professor. Something is not right. But, June, as the maverick she is, didn't give a damn and just pressed the key hard into the slot. And the professor was right, because actually that tomb of Eric the Red is actually a fake. An ingenious trap designed by the Viking explorer to ensure that only his most loyal followers could reach his treasure. The tomb starts to shake, provoking an actual earthquake that causes the mountain summit to crumble, dragging the adventurers down the cliff and into the sea. Imagine that. Will they survive? We don't know, but we will see in the next installment of this video. And if you like my video, please like and subscribe. And soon, probably in a few days, I'm going to continue and will give you the rest of this playthrough. And until then, I'm going to link the link for the Kickstarter actually. And if you decide to join for this, just please do, and even download that quick start for free and try it by yourself. And of course, there is a very important announcement that this is not a sponsored video at all. I didn't get any kind of compensation from Two Little Mice, not at all, not even a free book or anything like that. I'm just doing it for fun, and because I want that this wonderful game will reach more and more people. So thank you for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you.